It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the In the Game podcast. We got a very special edition tonight. Usually on this night, I'm usually doing TSP wagers, but since I'm doing college hoops, going to do a special In the Game one. You know, I broke down the brackets last night, so if you joined me, thank you for that. That was a lot of fun. I talked for an hour straight. That was like the most I've ever talked in my life, if you could believe that.
Let's go, y'all!
I know it's crazy. But yeah, man, so I'm gonna break down two games. These are two of the games I've kind of had my eye on since the brackets came out and I was making my brackets. You know, I eyed these two games, and they're probably two of my favorite games on Thursday. And then hopefully I can hop on tomorrow because I am doing APR with Eddie, the USFL edition. We are also being brought to you by Devour.
Let's go, y'all!
Make sure to go to Devour.com or download the Devour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code Taproom for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. So let's hop right into the first game. So the first game we're going to talk about is the New Mexico State Aggies against the Connecticut Huskies. And this right here is a very interesting game. So I talked about it yesterday, and I said I liked New Mexico State on the upset here. And right now, this line actually opened -7.5 for UConn. It has gone down at some books to New Mexico State +6. So a lot of money coming in on New Mexico State. And I understand why. New Mexico State is one of the most efficient teams in the country. A lot of people haven't heard of them, but they're top 100 in the country, 86 on offense. They shoot 52% effective field goal percentage, so they're a very efficient team. Their weakness is they turn the ball over a little bit, and they don't force a lot of turnovers. That could play an issue against UConn. However, you know, UConn struggles in their own right in some aspects. UConn, great defensively, top 50 team in the country. Turnover percentage, you know, they average 17 turnovers a game. Again, they don't force a lot of turnovers either. And then they shoot the three pretty well, 35%. They get 29% of their points from three-pointers, but they get 51% of points from 51% of their points from the rest of the field. And on the flip side, New Mexico State is one of the best defensive teams against the rest of the field. And they're one of the top 3-point defenses in the league, top 100, only allowing 34% from three. And a team like Connecticut that gets a majority of their threes, you know, we could see that causing some trouble here. Connecticut, as far as against the spread, 13, 18, and 1. They've been one of the worst teams against the spread this year.
Send it in, Jerome!
New Mexico State, on the other hand, 17 and 12 against the spread. They've really been killing the spread, and they're favored in a lot of their games, especially in the WAC. They're favored in a majority of those games. So the fact that they're covering those games means that they're winning, and they're winning by a lot more than you know, the market projects them to win. As an underdog on the season, they're 4-0 with a plus 12.9 margin. Now, in the games they were underdogs, Seattle University being one of them, Utah Valley was another one, and Grand Canyon was one of the three. I know those off the top of my head. But obviously, you know, they won those games, especially the Seattle one comes to mind because Seattle was a slight home favorite, like -1. At the time, they were both battling for the regular season WAC top team, and New Mexico State just blew them out of the water, dude. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, they were the much better team on the court that day. And I'm not trying to compare Connecticut and Seattle, obviously. Connecticut's a much better team. RJ Cole was a runner-up for Big East Player of the Year. So he's doing his thing as well. But New Mexico State, great against the spread. And those are teams I like to see come tournament time because those are teams that have been beating market expectation. And especially going against a team like Connecticut, who Ken Palm says they're the 18th best team in the country efficiency wise. But against the spread, they're 13, 18, and 1. So they're not even beating market value. And that tells you something about this team. You look at Connecticut's wins, outside of their conference, they don't really have a big signature win. They have Auburn. That was in November. Good double overtime win. VCU. But then inside their conference, I mean, they even lost to West Virginia, who's outside of their conference. But that was a bad win. They obviously had a couple guys out with COVID for that game. But West Virginia also, I mean, they have not been good this entire season, no matter who's on the floor. So that's a tough loss. Providence, Seton Hall, Creighton, Villanova. Xavier's a bad loss. Xavier really fumbled down the stretch after that win. And they lost to Creighton too, and then Villanova obviously in the Big East tournament, which was a close game, which was to be expected in the Big East tournament. But, just looking at this game, it's tough because Connecticut second in offensive rebounding possession percentage, but New Mexico State doesn't give up a ton of offensive rebounds. Only 26% offensive rebound do they give up. And I just keep going back to this defense for New Mexico State. The fact that they're great against a three. They're also good just defensively in general, but really good against a three. And that's where, Connecticut likes to get a majority of their points, almost 30% of their points from three. So if they're not going to be able to hit from three, it could be a little bit of a struggle. Jabari Rice has been playing very great for New Mexico State. Teddy Allen, Johnny McCants. This is a deep team, and it's a team that's pretty experienced, like a lot of upperclassmen as well. And Connecticut also. I mean, Connecticut's experienced team too. RJ Cole, obviously a senior. Sinagu, that he might have something to say inside. I do think that if they are able to get UConn into some foul trouble and get to the free throw line, it could change the game a little bit. New Mexico State, they shoot 19 free throws a game, which is near the top third of the country. And they're one of the better, I shouldn't say they're one of the better. They are only 70% from 3-point, so they aren't great from 3-point. Free throw. Connecticut good at free throws, 75%, which is why you could very well see them winning this game, closing it out on the free throw line. But 7 points, 6.5, 7.5, wherever you're in between there, that's a more than 2 possession game. And I definitely think New Mexico State, can hang within 2 possessions here. I just don't see how Connecticut is going to can win this game by more than 2 possessions. I mean, I think obviously anything can happen, but I don't foresee that happening with how these two teams have played this season. Let's take a look at some of their season numbers as well. So Connecticut, 53rd in the country in points per game, 43rd in the country in points against, 194th in effective field goal percentage, and UConn's defense top 25 in effective field goal percentage. First half, UConn averaging 35.2 points per game. Second half, 37.8, which is 112th. So they're a better first half team than they are a second half team, but defensively they're a better second half team. New Mexico State on the flip side, points per game 71.6, which is top half of the country. Opponents' points per game top 50. Margin 6.2. First half 31.7, so they're not a good first half team, and they allow 30 points per game in the first half, which is actually 57th in the country. So if we're another good play here, if we're looking to make a play, is a first half under. If we're getting it around 63, 64 points, I could see that being an under there. And I could see the second half. I could see taking UConn with the minus the points in the first half if it's like 5 or 4. But I mean, the first half under actually might be a really great play here because New Mexico State, 245th in the country in first half. Not very good. Turnovers per game, they don't 14. They don't turn the ball over a ton, but they only give up 11. 14 turnovers, that's not going to cut it against Connecticut. If they get 14 turnovers against Connecticut, you could basically write this off. I don't know. This is a game I've just, I've watched both these teams play. several times this season, and just watching New Mexico State play, like you can just see in their conference, like they're the best team in the conference throughout the entire season, especially in the championship game. They smacked Abilene Christian. And you could just see throughout the year, New Mexico State is a team that can compete with the best of them. I shouldn't say the best of them. I wouldn't put them up against like a Duke or something. But I do think New Mexico State can make a run in this tournament. I'm going to take New Mexico State plus the points here. I really like the first half under as well. If we can get it around 64.5, around there, I would take under. Anything less than 64.5, I would look at the first half over there. But I think that's a solid bet there. Yeah, I like that one.
It's in the game.
That's the sound we're looking for. The money sound. Yes.
Let's go, y'all.
All right, let's hop into the second game. We got the Creighton Blue Jays against the San Diego Aztecs. These are two more teams. We got a Big East team, and we have a Mountain West team. I watched a ton of Mountain West tournament. I know San Diego State lost to Boise State. That was a tough game. San Diego State is still a very underrated team. I mean, even KenPom has them 23rd in the country, and they have Creighton 54th. And the big reason why Creighton has fallen is because they are missing Ryan Nemhard, which is one of their better players. So you do have to keep that into consideration that he is not playing in this game. San Diego State, Matt Bradley has played exceptional. He's a senior, first team All Mountain West, played incredible down the stretch. Couldn't really close it off against Boise State. But what San Diego State does especially well is play defense. They're second in the nation in defense. You could put them up there with the Texas Techs of the world. But, I mean, they're long. They're athletic. Nathan Mensah, 6'10", senior. I mean, this kid is so long. He blocks rims at the shot. Blocks shots at the rim.
Let's go, y'all.
You know what I mean? But San Diego State is a ferocious team. They get a ton of turnovers. The one thing about San Diego State that I hate, that really frustrates me, is that they get turnovers and they like walk the ball up. They could have numbers and they'll pull the ball out and they'll run a half court offense. But I think it's going to be enough for Matt Bradley to really do work. I definitely thought that Creighton was going to lose to Villanova by more than 6 points. They held on a lot better, but they really weren't able to score against Villanova. And I'm telling you right now, San Diego State is a much better defense than Villanova. And I know it's crazy to say a Jay Wright coach team, but San Diego State is special defensively. And somebody on that Creighton team is going to have to step up and make buckets. Right now, the line is Creighton +2, San Diego State -2. These are two good teams against the spread all year, though. Creighton Blue Jays 17-14-2 against the spread. San Diego State 17-14 against the spread. This is really where, I expect this game to be. I just think without Nemhard, I don't think Creighton is going to have enough to overcome. And you're giving me less than one possession. You're saying all I have to do is win by more than 3 points. I like that a lot. And on a neutral floor, San Diego State's a good team. They have some solid wins. This is not a team that is, plays in a bad division and has some bad losses. No, this is a team that beat St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a top 20 team in the country. They beat Colorado State, another top 50 team in the country. They beat Utah State, and Utah State's very underrated. So, this is a San Diego State team that has been here. They've done it. They got a lot of experience. They're one of the more experienced teams in the country. So I like San Diego State here. The over-under, I'm staying away from for the simple fact it's at 121, and I could absolutely see this game being like 54-48 or 50-48 or 50-47. Like I could see this game going under 100. That's how low scoring this game could be. But if it is played in that kind of tempo, it absolutely favors the San Diego State Aztecs. And that is why I'm taking the Aztecs minus the 2 points. I absolutely love that one. I would also take San Diego State first half -1. This is a game that I absolutely love, and I absolutely love San Diego State to move on. I think San Diego State is one of the more underappreciated teams in the country.
Let's go, y'all.
Let's go. So let's rewind it.
All right.
let's recap. So our best bets of the night, we're going to go New Mexico State +7, and we're going to go New Mexico State under first half 64.5. And then in the second game, we're going to go San Diego State -2, and we're going to take first half San Diego State -1. Let's get this money. Thank y'all for joining me. I wanted this to be a little quick one. I just wanted to hop on live real quick and talk to y'all. Let y'all know what's cracking for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to hop on too. I could do a little bit more maybe depending on how late APR goes. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But thank y'all for joining me. Make sure to go to Devour.com or download the Devour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code Taproom for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. You can follow me on Twitter at JordanRulesTSP. Thank y'all for joining me. I will see y'all later. Enjoy the tournament and most definitely enjoy St. Patrick's Day, man. Shout out to St. Patrick's Day. Let's go.